Hey guys, so we're going to go ahead and start making this card. I already have my 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock, and that's Nina's Solar White cardstock. So we're going to be using the Swallowtail Stamp from Stampin' Up. It is a really large stamp and it's really beautiful. And I already have it mounted on my Fiskars stamp press. So next I'm going to take my Stampin' Up Bermuda Bay ink and I'm going to ink this butterfly up. And since it is so large, I'm just going to take the stamp pad right to the stamp. Takes a little bit of time to cover this whole thing. So next you're either going to want to eye up where the fold is going to go, or you're going to want to make a little tick mark at the 4 1/4 inch mark. So I just went ahead and did that with pencil. That way I know where the butterfly is going to be positioned when the card is folded. And since this image is so big, I think it looks great when it wraps around the back side of the card. And you want to just make sure you put some nice even pressure around the whole stamp. And don't forget to go into the center, in the very tips. And there's the butterfly. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's pretty much gorgeous in any color that you stamp it in. I think this is one of my favorite stamps. So next up we're going to do the sentiment, which is this happy birthday stamp. It's a really old one from Heidi Swapp, I believe. And I'm going to stamp that with my VersaFine ink. This is going to give me a really black, crisp image. So next I'm going to position that exactly where I want it, and I still have my little tick mark at the bottom so I know I'm not going to stamp my sentiment where it's going to fold over to the back. And this one, sometimes I don't press down perfectly on all these letters, and I seem to always not press down right where the A and the Y is. So I just take an ink pen, and I think I'm just using a permanent pen from Martha Stewart, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill in what didn't stamp. And it doesn't take too long to fill in those unstamped spaces. And then you're going to want to score your card. Before you do that, remember to erase your little pencil mark. I forgot to erase mine until the very end, but no biggie. So as you can see, I just made it with my sentiment and it did not end up on the back side of the card. And next I'm going to go ahead and fold my card, and I'm going to use my bone folder to give it a nice finished look. So you can see I did get 2 little ink spots on my card, but I'm just going to cover those up with a white gel pen. And now I'm going to use my Recollection flat back pearls in white, and I'm just going to use 3 of these on the card. Just going to use my craft knife here to separate them so I can space them out how I like. And I kind of had to play with these for a bit, so I just forwarded over that whole entire part. And here it is with the pearls in place. So next I'm going to do the inside of the card, and I'm going to use this flower. This is from Stippled Blossoms from Stampin' Up. So from this set we're going to use the large flower, and we're going to also use the leaves that coordinate with it. And this is a 2-step stamp. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Up ink in Bermuda Bay again. And I'm going to put a little piece of scratch paper right there. And the first stamp is this more of a solid image, and I'm going to go ahead and ink that up really well, and I'm going to stamp off. That way I can use the same ink pad for both of the steps. And now I'm going to get a nice light image, but it's still very noticeable. And then the next step is the detailed part of the flower. So just go ahead and ink that up really well. And this time do not stamp off, you're just going to stamp directly on top of the other stamp. And you could use your Stamp-A-Majig here. I'm just going to eyeball it. There's a couple places on the stamp that you can kind of line it up with. So I'm just going to do it and hope for the best. And I think it turned out beautiful. The stamp set it is really forgiving if you are a little bit off, so I don't usually worry about it. So for the leaf part, I'm just going to do the same thing as I did with the flower. The more solid image, I'm going to stamp off once, and then stamp directly next to the flower. And. And then the next step, just like before, we're going to stamp the details of the leaf. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink that up really well, and I'm going to stamp off. That way I can use the same ink pad for both of the steps. And now I'm going to get a nice light image, but it's still very noticeable. The stamp set it is really forgiving if you are a little bit off, so I don't usually worry about it. So for the leaf part, I'm just going to do the same thing as I did with the flower. The more solid image, I'm going to stamp directly next to the flower. And then the next step, just like before, we're going to stamp the details of the leaf. Just placing that on my clear block and gonna ink it up. And I'm just gonna eyeball it again and hope for the best. And I did stamp a little bit off, but like I said, the stamp set is pretty forgiving, so I don't think it looks terrible. And I think these two stamps go together really well. Very beautiful. So now that we did that, we're going to go ahead and do the envelope. I'm going to use the same Bermuda Bay ink and the same rose, and we're just going to stamp it right in the corner. So just like before, stamp off once and stamp directly onto the envelope. And now the details of the flower. I really love these two-step stamps. They are so pretty. And just like that, it is a beautiful flower. So I'm going to do the leaf part here. And once again, I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball it, and you could totally use your Stamp-A-Majig if you wanted to. And this one I got on pretty well. So here's the finished envelope and the finished card. I think these two look so pretty together. I think this would make a gorgeous note card set. You could stamp the butterfly and the flower in so many different colors. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked this card. Also, thank you so much to those of you that commented or liked my last video. They were really sweet comments, very kind. I am really excited to be back, and your comments really warmed my heart. So thank you so much for that. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye!